Alright, and here's the video review for TransFormMission's Disorder, their version of Wild Rider here, part of their Stunticon combiner team. We've seen pics of the whole combiner in gray prototype form. We just saw some colored pictures, actually now the sample of Disorder here today, and their breakdown, Carnage I think is his name. We saw some colored prototype pics out today from various stores. But this showed up. I got a notification that I had a package coming today from a shipping company I didn't recognize, and nobody had said, "Hey, we're sending you something." So I got home, opened it up, and it was this guy. He was a very slick-looking little car. I'm not entirely sure what kind of car he's modeled after. Apologies, I'm not a super car enthusiast, but it's a nice little sleek, sporty car. I don't know if you can see some of the texture here, but he's like, it's not just a black, it's got kind of a silvery texture all over it. It looks really nice in the light with the red windows and the red headlights. He rolls quite freely. He's about roughly the same size as an Alternity car, maybe slightly larger, but roughly the same size as the Alternity vehicles. And you notice you can kind of see through. There is some parts visible inside there, but he does actually have a mostly open interior of the car. You can actually see through it. There. That's it. So yeah, nice looking little vehicle mode there. Not a whole lot of kibble on the underside or robot bits sticking out. It is hollow up here where the gun stores. And you can see some robot mode parts, but it's much smoother underneath than I was expecting it to be. Let's see if I can focus this here. So yeah. In a Transformer, we start by popping the gun out. Just pegs in right underneath the bottom there. And then it just flips up. And there's his pistol. For the vehicle itself, you start off at the front, and you want to lift this whole front assembly up. His windshield wipers, or not windshield wipers, his rearview mirrors are actually kind of a rubbery plastic, so they won't get damaged, which is nice. These little spoiler bits back here are hard plastic, so do be careful with those when transforming him. But you lift this up on both sides, and just kind of lift it up like that to get it out of the way. That's going to unlock these panels right here, which the doors are attached to, so kind of open the doors here. Just like that. And then split the middle of the chest. Now at this point you can flip the head out, and flipping the head out will actually keep this stuff from sliding in easier. It kind of blocks them from sliding in during the rest of the transformation. But in order to get this whole thing assembled, it's easier if you leave the head folded in for right now. So in the front of the car, I'm going to take these headlight panels, and you can see where they detach right there, and lift them up and in. Now you can leave these flat like this for robot mode, but I think it makes it a little bit more like his backpack is transformed if you pull these up. And they come up and over. Just gotta kind of up and in on this hinge here. So no matter, there we go. See, they lift up and in like that. Just like that. Now the bumper clearly has some hinges up here. It can fold up and fold in up here, and I'm pretty sure that's for the combined mode, because right now we want to fold these wheels in, and that prevents this bumper from folding up. So for robot mode, you fold the wheels in, and it looks like from pictures of combined mode, the bumper kind of does this. These fold in, and then these pieces right here fold in around the wheels here. Like this, and this whole bumper piece can come down and fold up inside here, and it looks like that's how that's going to transform for the combined mode, to collapse it up. But for right now, we want to leave this out, open and out, because as I said, those wheels are going to come in here in a minute. Now the wheels are on these hinged pieces right here, and they also have a ball joint connecting them right here. So you unpeg this part up here inside the thing, kind of fold these in, rotate them on the ball joint here, while folding this piece in. If you pull the legs out a little bit, you can go ahead and collapse the windshield down, which gives you a little bit more room to do this. But these should fold all the way in like this. inside the backpack here. And the wheels can, on that ball joint, can kind of rotate out a little bit to give them clearance. Yeah, you fold these panels in. There we go. Just like that. Fold the wheels, and then this whole backpack rotates down, covers the windshield, and now you've got the backpack done. Now at this point you can go ahead, open up this, and flip his head out. It's a very nice head sculpt. We'll talk about that more in a minute. But then open that up, plug that in, and there's the upper body done. The arms come out on these hinges, and then you untab the door from the arm, and it's on a separate hinge up here, so you can lift this up and out like that. Fold the window in, extend the arm like this, and then you want to make sure to twist it up here at the bicep swivel, and that gives you this full. It will still move back at that hinge, but then you've also got this fully articulated elbow right here below that, and then rotate his hand around. His fingers do open as one solid piece. Same on this arm. Folds that up, bring the arm down, rotate it around, and rotate this. Now these are on, you can rotate these hinges as well. There's like a ball joint up in there. So if you want to have them sticking straight up, you can. If you want to have them swung back like that, you can. If you want to have them straight down by the arm, if you want to bring them forward for whatever reason. You've actually got quite a range of motion here on these shoulder pauldrons. I guess they're not really pauldrons, but the shoulder panels there. And then the arms can rotate here, and they have a hinge up here. And we'll get more into articulation when we finish up robot mode. Now for the lower half of the body, I'm going to go ahead and split the legs here. These wheels unpeg. There's a little peg hole up in there that the wheel pegs into. So bring that down, unpeg that, and bring that down. Bring this around, and then you lift this whole assembly. Oh, right, you got to unpeg, open up this panel. And then this whole assembly comes down. Open up this panel, flip the foot down and around like this, flip it forward, and then this assembly, you can see that arm in there comes up like this. While you're folding that up, fold this panel inside the knee. It gives him some nice little technical detailing there inside the window on his leg. So you bring that down, fold the wheel around to the back as you fold this in, and then this panel closes, and this tab right here goes in this slot. So you fold this up and lock the leg together, and it actually locks in place fairly securely. It's just a matter of tabbing that on, and then right here there's a nice little tab you can grab to flip out his heel piece, and there's a leg done. Same thing on this side. Open up this tab here, pull the whole thing open, rotate the foot down and around, bring the whole panel down, flipping that panel in as you do so. Flip the wheel around, bring this down, bring the foot down, and then line it all up and peg it together just like that. And flip out the heel, and then just turn them around at the waist. Bring the backpack back down. And there is Disorder in robot mode. Beautiful head sculpt. I love the head sculpt on this guy. It just looks really nice. And again, he's got the same kind of peg the gun into the hand that a lot of masterpieces do. So you just plug that into his hand, wrap it around it, and he holds it fairly securely. So like I said, you've got some range of motion here in these shoulder armor pieces. So you can position those however you want. And there he is, all turned around. Like I said, this is why I like to bring these in. It just makes the backpack condensed a little more and look like something is actually transformed back here. Although you could leave this whole these things down and out and make it a little wider, but it just looks more like you did something back here. You can lift that up. You can see the windshield compressed up against his back. But yeah, really nice looking figure. Articulation wise, he's got side to side on his head. It can look up and down a little bit but the shape of the base of his head is really squared off. I don't know if it's a ball joint or just a swivel joint. Oh no, it must be a ball joint because he can look. If we get him where the back of his head's in this little groove back here, he can look up a little bit. So it must be on the ball joint up there. It's got swivels here at the shoulders, both forward and back, up and down. He does have that bicep swivel. He's got that transformation hinge in his elbow, as well as the full hinge there at the elbow. He's got a wrist swivel, opening fingers, waist swivel, in and out on the legs, forward and back on the legs. He does have a thigh swivel, hinge knees with a pretty decent range of motion back, about that far. He does have ankle tilt on his feet, as well as the front and back, and then that extra heel piece to give him support. So he can actually hold some pretty decent poses. Get him to look up. Tilts his foot in. And just as a quick size comparison, I do have some figures to bring out. There we go. All right. So just to give you an idea, here he is with the G2 breakdown that Fans Project did with their Stunticons. I was going to get my Wild Rider off of him, but he's combined right now, and I didn't feel like pulling them all off. And he was sitting right there on the shelf in robot mode. So just to give you an ideal comparison of how big he is compared to the Fans Project versions, there you go. And he's going to attach, like, Motormaster is like the size of MP10. He's based off of the Stunticons from one of the early issues of IDW's Transformers series, their ongoing series before, not More Than Meets the Eye, the one before that, when is it Swindle got them all hooked together, and it looks like that. It's a really nice representation of it, but much like Fans Projects, most of the combiner structure looks like it comes from Motormaster, and he just kind of plugs onto the legs, although he does seem to transform a little bit more for his leg mode than the Fans Project ones did. And then just to compare it to a masterpiece, I've got the Blue Streak, because one, I just kind of wanted an excuse to pull Blue Streak off the shelf, because God, that's a gorgeous figure. But anyway, just to give you an idea, in robot mode, he's just slightly taller than the Autobot car molds. But yeah, overall, it's a nice solid figure. I know some people were upset that there wasn't like a carbon fiber or some sort of silver detail on his roof. And again, this seems pretty final here to me. They may still change some paint apps. They could put something silver there. But the black texture of this plastic is really nice. It's actually got it's got more of a finished look to it than just black or gray. It's a really nice looking plastic. He's a very slick looking car in vehicle mode. But yeah, thanks to the guys at TransFormMission for sending this to me. There it is, TransFormMission Disorder.